Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. We do have a few more people, a couple new people who are going to be coming, but it's already 6:35 or 6:36, so we're going to start. We're trying video for the first time today, so there's going to be a little bit of transition for the mic and everything, and it's not because I want to be on TV, but we do have people who couldn't make it who would like it recorded, and so we're going to try doing this for our seminars and hopefully be able to provide that in the future as well. So. Okay, so I'll just get started. So welcome to our seminar this evening. Time for your next move. Thank you for the comment regarding we need two fish in each of the fish bowls, but I was happy enough to just get this, this graphic. I wanted to play for you a little video. Okay, well, I thought you would enjoy that. That's kind of a little cute commercial about a house being too big. Just a brief just to start off and introduce an introduction into Perisson. So about Perisson, the name Perisson comes from the Greek for abundance or overflow. And this is a company that I actually started in 2016, at the end of 2016, and with the principle of abundance, and really having that belief that we live in abundance and we can help each other to thrive. We can help our community, our agents, our clients definitely to be able to thrive. And this seminar series that we've started at that time is an outgrowth of that principle, is that we want to just be here to provide value, to help educate people on topics in real estate. And I've really enjoyed them. We've had a variety of topics. One of my past clients and friends here actually spoke on remodeling last time, and that was very well attended. So we really want to be able to provide that value. This is not a time for trying to do a sales pitch or anything like that, but just to really provide that education on the market. Just a brief outline about the structure of the evening. So we're going to be doing the welcome and introduction that I'm doing now. And then I'll start off with a brief real estate market update, which we do at the beginning of every seminar. And then very quickly about this whole question of to sell, or do I keep the property and rent it out and buy something else. So I'll go briefly into that. And then that will segue into implications of being a landlord, because if you do keep the property, that's one of the considerations, an important consideration to have to make sure you're ready to be a landlord. And then strategies for selling and buying, so how the mechanics of that would work, what the timeline would be, and then financing alternatives, which we have one of my colleagues from Wells Fargo is here this evening to speak to that and some of the options, and then we'll do announcements. So starting off with the real estate market update, everyone has in your folders, you do have a copy of our notes outline, the slides, so if you want to take notes along with that or look at the graphs a little more carefully, you can do that. First of all, I always love to look at the news and what's going out, because it's happening all the time, right? The housing market, there's so much about real estate. One thing they talk about, this is from CNBC, home sales fell in April despite a big drop in mortgage rates. So if you're on top of and Ryan can speak to that more, but the mortgage rates are still very low right now. They're great. And I think there are even people who bought last year who are refinancing now because they're actually able to take advantage of that. But is that helping with home sales? And nationally, they're saying that it did drop in April and has been dropping. They talk about the end of an era, all the ups and downs, mortgage rates, again, slumped to 2 months lows, and talking about, so different articles that come up, and it's good to just be in the know on the news. One thing to keep in mind with that, though, is it's always looking back. It's always looking backwards at what is the latest, what's happened maybe a month or even last quarter. So a lot of times the data that we get will not even really know what happened in first quarter until April or May even. So just to note that. So here's, so they talk about, oh, it's crashing, oh, it's doing really well. It's fun, because my husband loves to send me articles about doom and gloom on the real estate market, and we got to take this out of the video. But he's always sending me different articles, and I have other people sending me articles all the time, and it's fun to read, but it's like, okay, but keep in mind, real estate is very local. So California behaves very differently from the rest of the United States, and our area in particular behaves even more, extremely different compared to the rest of California, because we don't have a lot of land, and because we have the tech industry that's keeping us up. So keeping that in mind, just I wanted to go through some of the data points that we've been seeing. So number of new listings, those of you who've attended before, some of these will look familiar to you. Number of new listings, this is for single family homes in San Mateo County. And over the past 5 years, you'll see every time it spikes up, it's more like toward the beginning of the year. January, February, March, April, it spikes up. Usually April is where we'll get the spike. And then it comes back down toward the end of the year, goes back up again 2015, 2016, I have my pointer, 2017, 2018, and then here we are. So we're back up kind of following the same trend. So regardless of what everybody's saying, we're still kind of in the same position in terms of number of new listings. Months of inventory. So this is an indicator of if we were to sell all the houses that are currently on the market right now at the rate that it sold over the last 6 months, what would that look like? And they take it as months of inventory. It's counted as that. If you have 6 months, that's considered a balanced market, traditionally. If you have over 6 months, that's considered a buyer's market, so it's better for buyers. If you have less than 6 months, that's considered a seller's market, because the inventory is limited. So as you can see, again, going back over the last 5 years, we've seen that up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. At the beginning of this year, end of last year, we did see a little bit higher inventory than we had seen in the last couple years, and we're back down. And just to note, this level here is 2.5. So we've been mainly flirting with between 1.5 to 2 months of inventory, which is considered definitely a seller's market. Not much has changed, and that's the thing about these market updates is I do it every time we do a seminar, and I end up feeling like I'm saying the same thing sometimes, but that's what we're still seeing. Median days to sell, so this is how long does it take to go from putting it on the market to getting an offer accepted. And median, as you know, the same number above, same number of houses above as below that number. So days to sell, we're seeing it again kind of floating up and down, up and down, up and down. Near the end of last year, again, we did see it going up to over 25 days. And so there were people wondering, what's going on? Are we maybe starting to see a slump in the housing market? We're back down here to between about 12, 13 days that we're going at. And so that doesn't mean that every house sells in 12 to 13 days. There are some houses that sell significantly, take significantly longer. There are also some houses that spend very little time on the market. So I had actually 2 in the beginning of this year that sold in 6 days. So you're seeing a whole, and then there's a whole slew of off-market, which we did talk about in one of our other seminars, where sometimes they report that data, but it's showing up as 0 days. And so we have a whole gamut. It runs the whole gamut. Median sale price. So again, median is you have the same number of homes that sold higher than that as below. Our median sale price in San Mateo County for single-family homes, in 2014, it was floating around $1 million. And then toward last year, we peaked in April at about 1.745 million. And then it dipped down again toward the end of last year. And so we're like, oh, okay, it's starting to get lower. And then now we're back here, and this line here, if you can't see it, is 1.5 million. So our median sale price for a single-family home in San Mateo County, we're talking about over 1.5 million that you have to account for. So just going back to that slide. So we have a lot of news back and forth and all of that. We're still staying pretty steady and pretty strong when it comes to not as much inventory. We do see still a lot of buyer demand out there, and houses are selling, in 2 weeks or less, and give or take. It really depends on the house itself. And then the median sale price, again, is holding pretty strong here. And 1.5 million is pretty crazy. I remember when I first started real estate 11 years ago, I was thinking, oh, I can't wait until I get my first $1 million listing. You know, that seemed like such a huge thing. And now it's like, you know, because it's just, I mean, it's not. I think everything that we do, of course, is important, but it's just this, you know, we're talking about the median is now well over 1.5, you know, and yes, we do have some dips and up and downs, but, you know, it's still, even if it comes down, it's still very strong as a market. So I'll just launch briefly into the to sell or to keep. So this is one of the questions that we have to face. If you're thinking you've lived in your house long enough, and what do I do? Do I want to sell my property and then purchase the replacement property, or do I keep and rent it out? So some reasons for moving that people have, there may be some change in personal situation, which is just the catch-all. A house has become too small, or the house has become too big. I've had the privilege of being able to help clients with both, with helping them sell their parents' home that's become too big for them, or the parents have even, you know, had to go to care and pass away, and at the same time help their children purchase their first home. So it's a very interesting dynamic. One thing that I love about being in real estate. But things can change for people. So the house can become either too big or too small. There may be a want or a need. It could be just because you're tired of the commute here, or it could be a job situation to get a better job. It could be to go closer to family, to be closer to family members in other areas. To be there are different reasons to want to move to a different area entirely. And there are others who just have a lot of built up equity in your home. Most of the clients that I helped early on in my career have been in that situation where now they have built up equity because their home prices over this time period have doubled and tripled. So now they have equity, they also have a growing family, and so they're thinking, okay, we have that ability now to be able to use that equity to get us into that bigger home. So different reasons. Key questions when you're considering what you want to do. So do we keep it or do we rent it out? And rent it out, or do we sell it? What are your long-term goals? And that's a very personal question, obviously, but what are your long-term goals for your property? Are there people that you want to be able to pass this on to? Is it, you know, is the property that you're going to the place that you're considering as, you know, the place that you're going to stay for retirement or for your family for many, many years? Different reasons. What is your timeline for moving? And that's gonna come into play when I go more into strategies. Can you afford to keep your existing property? Of course, I always encourage people, if you can hold on to it, hold on to it. It's not a great strategy as a real estate agent to tell people, you know, I go to meet somebody and they're like, oh, I want to sell my home. And I meet them and I go, you know, if you can hold it, why don't you just keep it? And they're like, okay. So it's not the best strategy as a you know, in terms of generating business for me, but I've met many, many people and, you know, through my career, and those who are older and who are retiring well, they all have real estate. So I really do encourage people to, you know, if you can keep real estate property, keep it. And of course, there are sometimes when we can't, or it doesn't make sense for different reasons. And then finally, are you ready to be a landlord? And that's a big question to keep in mind. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Chris, who is our property manager at Perisson.